This week on Goofing Off,
Mon Mon makes some fried rice.
Sunshine reviews Thor Ragnarok.
Goab gets retro.
All this and more on Goofing Off.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Goofing Off. I'm Kyle Glockner.
And what's up, guys? I'm Cameron Blanton.
Hey, Cameron, didn't Dom tell Drew not to talk about any more classic games?
I think so, yeah.
Huh. Well, here's Drew with a game from 1994 on Games on a Budget.
What's up, guys? Drew Brown, back again with Games on a Budget. On today's show, I'll be talking about the ancient relic of a video game, XCOM, UFO Defense. Not the new XCOM that came out in 2012, I'm talking about the original game that spawned the whole franchise. XCOM UFO Defense is one of the grandfathers of the entire strategy video game genre and is widely regarded as what popularized it. XCOM was released way back in 1994 for PCs and the Amiga. It would get a PlayStation port a year later. The game caught on very fast and would become one of the symbols for PC gaming in the 90s. Set in the good old year of 1998, you control the organization known as XCOM. They are a defense and research organization created by a council of nations in order to protect and research the new extraterrestrial threat coming to mankind. You begin the game by observing the geoscape, which is presented as a globe on which you observe where UFOs are flying and where aliens are attacking. You can intercept the UFOs, and if they're in the air, attempt to shoot them down. If you manage to shoot them down or they land, you enter what the game calls the battlescape. The battlescape is where you control your soldiers and try to take out the aliens and recover what you need in order to learn more about the threat. That's one of the things I really like about this game. You start off not knowing at all what these aliens are, where they're from, or what their motives are for attacking mankind. All of that is information you gather by successfully taking out and recovering resources, such as alien bodies, parts from the UFOs, and weapon technology that can be reverse engineered and benefit you greatly. The mystery of what exactly is going on makes for a very intriguing game and keeps the player, well, wanting to play. The graphics look pretty good for a game from 1994. The camera is positioned overhead and each battlescape is treated like a grid, sort of like a game board. You are limited on where you can go and what you can do on your turn, so you have to plan your actions very thoughtfully. I love the battlescape because each battle is completely different. One battle could be in the city and you won't see an alien for 4 turns, and the next battle you could be in a field in Russia and you can get shot at immediately as you walk out of your ship. It really keeps the player on their toes and forces them to be ready for anything. As it is a PC game from 1994, XCOM is no cakewalk. You have to be sure you are researching weapons and alloys in order to keep your soldiers protected, or else you'll lose all of them. You also have to research artifacts recovered so that you know where these aliens are coming from and what they are. And on top of that, you have to be sure you have funds so XCOM can stay afloat. It's a very mind-intensive game that can become pretty stressful at some points. XCOM had a sequel made in 1995 called XCOM Terror from the Deep. It is basically the same game, except this time the threat is from underwater. There were other spin-offs and spiritual successors that just didn't seem to live up to the original, until 2012, where Firaxis Games and 2K Games finally put a modern take on the franchise with their game XCOM, Enemy Unknown. It had multiple sequels and really shows how well the original held up, as it is essentially the same formula with a modern coat of paint. XCOM UFO Defense is a prime example of how even after 23 years, a game can still be a great time. XCOM UFO Defense and the sequel, XCOM Terror from the Deep, are both on Steam for only $4.99 each. XCOM is a great game for the money and essentially can run on any computer due to how old it is. It's a high recommendation for me, and if you're a big strategy game fan, you'll really like it too. And if you have any other strategy games for me to check out, tweet at our Twitter at ZTVGoofingOff using the hashtag GOAB. I'm Drew Brown, and I'll see you next time when I talk about even more cheap games.
So, what exactly is your name?
Cameron, my name is Kyle. Not only did I just say it in the intro, but we've known each other for almost 2 years now.
Not your name, your name.
My name is Kyle.
Not your name, your name. The movie.
Cameron, there's no movie called My Name. Well, anyway, I guess it's time for me to talk about your name on Animate. Hello anime fans, I'm Kyle Glockner and welcome back to Animate. Anime as a genre can be really unpredictable in the sense that the length of a series can be generally unpredictable. There are 13 episode series, 26 episode series, 51 episode series, 64, 100, 200, 300, whatever One Piece is at. There's movies, one-off OVAs, mini OVA series, the list goes on and on. Today though, I want to focus on anime movies. Almost everyone has seen an anime movie at some point in their life, be it part of their favorite series or one of Studio Ghibli's legendary films. But just last year, there was one anime film in particular that shattered a ton of records worldwide and dug its way deep into my heart as one of my favorite animated works of all time. I'm talking about Kimi no Na wa, or Your Name. At a first glance, Your Name appears to be the typical boy meets girl love story with a bit of supernatural thrown into the mix. We start out with the perspective of Mitsuha Miyamizu, a girl living in the small lakeside town of Idomori. She goes through her day hearing about how she seemingly forgot who she was the previous day. After a day or two goes by, we see Mitsuha wake up in the body of a Tokyo boy named Taki Tachibana. The next day, Taki wakes up in his own body, learning about his own forgetfulness of the previous day. Mitsuha and Taki eventually figure out that they are switching bodies on random days. They begin to adapt to each other's lifestyle, communicating through diaries left in their phones by each other. Now, I can't really talk about much after this point in the story due to spoilers, and I do believe that this film is best experienced firsthand. But rather than spend all day talking about the plot, I want to talk about what makes this movie so great. I feel as though the story itself, while almost perfect, does have a few parts I wasn't too fond of, or I didn't really think connected as well. Towards the end, the movie seems to fall back on the whole "don't think about it and it works" trope. And honestly, it does. Even with these imperfections, Your Name's story is one I immediately fell in love with. It strikes a wonderful balance between slice of life and supernatural, and if I had to give it a percentage, I would say Your Name is 75% slice of life and 25% supernatural. The body swapping scenes between Mitsuha and Taki can fit whatever mood the movie is trying to portray at that moment. They go from whimsical and funny to emotional and sad. And I could see how, when done poorly, this same concept could make a terrible movie or series, but Your Name pulls it off almost flawlessly. Another aspect of this movie that I love is the music. Performed by the Bad Radwimps, each piece of music in Your Name complements each scene perfectly and adds so much emotional impact to each and every scene. A lot of the music sounds sorta ethereal, making you feel like you're experiencing a dream, and that fits with the theme of the movie. Speaking of the theme, to me, it seems like the theme is the idea of youthful hope, or a feeling of familiarity. Through body swapping, Mitsuha and Taki have a feeling of familiarity with each other, but they can't really say that they know each other. This makes them both feel a little conflicted about the whole situation. Just imagine if one day you woke up in someone else's body. Imagine that every couple of days, you had to live their life, interact with their friends and loved ones, and take care of their body, hoping that they do the same for you. You might start to feel like you know them better than anyone else, and that wouldn't be untrue. You would have to learn them in and out in order to pretend to be them. But at the same time, you don't really know them. You've never met them, you've never spoken to them directly before, you've never even seen them with your own eyes. This would understandably create some complicated feelings within yourself, and might almost feel like a dream. But that's what makes Your Name so beautiful. This movie makes you feel these things just by watching, and lets you feel like you relate to the feelings of the characters, even though you may not have felt anything like this before. That's not even mentioning the ending of the film, which is one of the most hopeful endings to a story I've ever seen. It's just open-ended enough to be arguably more satisfying than a finite conclusion. Overall, I think Your Name is a near-perfect film and deserves every bit of praise it got over the past year. It feels like a fusion between a Ghibli film and a modern anime series, and they fuse so perfectly that it creates one of the best film viewing experiences I've ever had. Your Name was directed by Makoto Shinkai and produced by Noritaka Kawaguchi and Genki Kawamura, and it was distributed by Toho. I really like it and would recommend it to anyone who enjoys anime or not. That's all the time I have for today, but let me know what you think by tweeting me at ZTV Goofing Off using the hashtag Animate. Until then, I'm Kyle Glockner, and I'll catch you next time on Animate.
Man, I'm really excited for some quality goof content.
I left the goofing off in my other pants pocket, but it doesn't make a bit of difference, Cameron.
What?
Dom is gone. The show is inert.
Let's cut to break.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
Hey, how did you enjoy Monica's cake from the live stream?
It was one of the most exquisite tastes I've ever experienced. It is probably one of the best experiences of my life thus far.
Well, if you like Monica's cooking, you'll be happy to hear she made fried rice. Here's Monica on Cooking Mon Mon.
Monica.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica Wynn and this is Cooking Mon Mon. For today's dish, I will show you how to make Kotetsu's Everything But the Kitchen Sink fried rice from the superheroes anime Tiger and Bunny, which is one of my personal favorites. Before we head to the kitchen, let's take a peek at the dish.
ほら完成だ。さあどんどんお食べ。何ですか？チャーハンだよ。前に作ってやった時は食う前にめちゃくちゃにされちゃったから。
The episode starts out with a saddened Barnaby who can't remember his parents' killers. Kotetsu decides to cheer him up by making his famous fried rice, which Barnaby couldn't try before. Barnaby then questions why Kotetsu is being so nice to him, and Kotetsu admits that he's just actually worried about his partner.
Now let's head to the kitchen.
The best thing about this dish is you can use anything your heart desires, any kind of ingredients that you want to put inside of it. You'll peel the carrots, and personally, I prefer pulling the stems out of mushrooms, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Then, dice the carrots any way you want to. Now, slice the mushroom into generous sizes, or to your preference, of course. Now, slice the onions and peel them apart to make it easier for them to cook. Now you'll want to slice your poultry into square, cubes, whatever. You can pick any kind of meat you want, or even exclude it if you don't want it. Crack an egg. And mix the egg yolk together until it's blended well. You'll set this aside for now. Personally, I decided to cook my meat separately first. I added in a smidge of oyster sauce, then cooked it until it's done. Now, add oil to a pot or pan and wipe up the excess oil with a paper towel. Get your veggies ready. Add in onions and carrots first and saute them together. And add in your mushrooms. This, of course, is to your preference of how you want to cook your veggies. I use oyster sauce for seasoning. Personally, I think it adds a bit more flavor to your veggies. And saute them until they're fully cooked. Now, the most important ingredient is your rice. You'll add that in and mix it with the veggies. Make sure you thoroughly mix your veggies and rice together. Throw in your poultry, and of course, mix it all together again. Alright, let's start cooking our eggs. Personally, I like my eggs scrambled for fried rice. It makes it a lot easier to mix together, but like I said, you can do whatever you want with this recipe. Once you have the eggs the way you want them, you can add them into the rice and mix everything together. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but personally, I like to add in a little bit of Japanese mayo into my fried rice, and if you do that, you're just going to mix it all up, plate it, and enjoy!
Well, there you have it. Tell me what you think by tweeting at ZTV Goofing Off or using the hashtag CookingMonMon. I'm Monica Wynn, and this has been Cooking Mon Mon.
Man, I'm so sad Sunshine's not doing a DC movie. I love them all so much, especially Suicide Squad.
I mean, in my opinion, I think Marvel movies have been way better repeatedly, especially Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Oh, well, it's no Batman versus Superman. Here's Sunshine with Movie Snobs.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Movie Snobs. As always, my name is Sunshine, and today we return to one of my favorite cinematic universes. One that knows how to make high-quality movies and develop storylines that make sense. Sometimes. That's right. Today, we look at what I believe is the best Thor movie to date, Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is the third movie released, specifically dedicated to Thor, and about the 17th or so that lives in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially if you count that first horrible Incredible Hulk movie. As we prepare for Marvel to release the next Avengers movie, we're being fed with some filler movies to pass the time and explain what our favorite heroes are up to in their off hours. For the most part, I enjoy these films, but their plots generally are forgettable, as I know that a lot of them are just used to facilitate the plot for the next Avengers movie. Thor Ragnarok, though, does a decent job of being a good exception. While obviously all the movies in the MCU, except for actual Avengers movies, could be seen as setups, I felt that this new Thor was good at being a happy middle ground, combining setup context for both Thor and the Hulk with a plotline and character motivations for the Greek god and his friends. It did its job well, and served its purpose while still being an actually entertaining film. Thor Ragnarok features Thor in a light we don't normally see him. He's extremely funny and quick-witted in this movie, which makes the overall story extremely enjoyable. He is fighting to prevent Ragnarok, or the end of Asgard, his home world. Through this adventure, Thor continues his shaky relationship with Loki, as well as mend the divide between himself and the Hulk, who has been stuck as the big green guy for quite a while. Thor's adventure explores a ton of subplots, from what has happened to Hulk, to Thor's familial future, and even the future of Thor's entire people. Having been someone who wasn't exactly a fan of Thor, I really enjoyed this new version of him. Before, he was viewed as a god, which, to be fair, he is, and therefore I never really worried about him. While he was trying to help people on Earth, in the end, he had his own world, and generally couldn't be worried about what happened to us here. This new movie, though, showed a different, more caring side of Thor, and changed my opinions of his motivations drastically. I'm excited to see where this new take on Thor will go, and how the ending of this movie is going to impact Thor's future in the Avengers. Looking at the action and comedy, this movie was great. The fighting scenes are what you can expect from a Marvel movie, but there weren't honestly a ton of the stereotypical shots. This movie stuck more to a story than the idea of what if we fought a seemingly unending wave of henchmen that we dispatched with ease because we're just that good. Don't get me wrong, it does happen from time to time in this movie. After all, Thor's in it. But I feel the focus was more on the story here, and that's really what matters. Additionally, not only did we get to hear Hulk talk more than we ever have, we got some hilarious back and forth between the Hulk, Thor, and a variety of other characters. I've always loved Loki and Thor's banter, as their quick wordplay reminds me of my own brother and I, but Thor's ability to do this with several other supporting characters, including the Hulk, made for a really enjoyable movie that was appropriately funny while still telling the story that it needed to. Lastly, I want to briefly touch the idea of this movie setting up Avengers. While it's clear that yes, the events of this movie will move us closer to the Infinity Wars and the next couple of Avengers movies, I want to reemphasize how good this movie was at not bringing that fact up. Throughout the entire film, I never once thought about how this interaction, or that fight, will impact the future of other Avengers. Besides good banter and funny references to other characters in the MCU, I never lost focus about the story in front of me or thought about other characters that weren't even present. It was really well done, and I'm glad that they finally got at least one of the Thor movies right.
I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh. And then I went on a journey of self-discovery.
Overall, this movie was really enjoyable. While it wasn't a high bar to pass, Thor Ragnarok was by far the best Thor movie we've ever had. The plot was enjoyable, and while it was a bit flimsy and felt a little forced at times, it did serve its purpose to move the story along and keep us on track. The action scenes were enjoyable, and the highly anticipated fights between Thor and the Hulk definitely delivered in terms of entertainment. Lastly, the comedy of this movie was really well done and gave me a new side of Thor to actually appreciate. This movie will lead us to the Infinity Wars, but for its runtime, I wasn't concerned with that, but only with enjoying this cool take on Thor. While I don't think this movie was the best solo Marvel film yet or anything like that, I do think that it was well done and a really enjoyable movie, and I'd have to give Thor Ragnarok an overall B+ grade. Let me know what you thought of this new Marvel movie in the comments below, or tweet us at ZTV Goofing Off, and don't forget to use the hashtag MovieSnobs to let me know what you want to see me cover next. That's all for now though. My name is Sunshine, and this has been Movie Snobs. Hi, I'd like to place an order for pickup. Yeah, I'd like 2 large pizzas, 1 with pepperoni and 1 with ham and bacon. That'll be how much? Okay, pick up in half an hour.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
Hey Kyle,
Yes, Clam?
are you ready for board games?
Yeah, let's play some games on a board, buddy.
Video games on Goof Game Corner.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Goof Game Corner. I'm Kyle Glockner,
And I'm Drew Brown.
and we're here with Sonic Forces.
The most highly anticipated Nintendo Switch game of the year.
Honestly, when the Switch came out and Breath of the Wild was the launch title, I was disappointed because I wanted to play
I
Sonic
wanted
Forces.
my Sonic the
I don't even know when
Hedgehog.
this game was announced.
I don't know either. You got your new game.
Hard.
Yeah, they don't have easy.
Wait.
They have normal and hard. You've played Sonic before. Just play hard.
Yeah, okay.
There's a giant worm out there. Look at him.
Okay.
Sonic's a funny guy.
Oh man, how I wouldn't say that I miss Sonic.
Oh, I wanted this game to be good.
I think Sega wanted this game to be good, but they sure didn't get that from what I've heard.
From what you've seen me play.
Oh yeah, because
Yes, that's the line.
oh,
Looks like Green Hills Zone's turning into Sand Hill Zone.
that's a pretty good joke.
Oh man.
Because it's covered in sand. I'll go with type 3.
You want type 3?
All right, let's see what we got.
No, you
Alright.
want the break dance.
Okay.
That's it. You want that one.
That's
You want-
tempting.
You want that one. That one's pretty good.
He just bows. That one's pretty cool. He's like, come on!
Pretty easy.
No, you want the break dance. Or that one.
Dark Flame Master.
I did pretty good.
Like how he's like, oh yeah, yes,
I did
nice.
pretty good in that level. Powers up.
Where was that 8?
I like
Dark Flame Master.
Looks great.
Do I not get close yet?
No, you get close when you beat levels.
Looks great.
And see, it looks
What
like
am
you
I
can,
doing?
It looks like you can light speed dash. I can't figure out how to do it.
What am I doing?
You are flaming these guys. You are more powerful than Sonic.
That looked really awkward. Follow this for a while. That was a spike. This is a dangerous situation I'm in.
Get in the middle. Yeah.
Of course I'd get in the middle.
Watch for that thing. You gotta hit B. Oh, you
I did.
You already did it
I
for
just.
you. They did it. You won.
I did it.
You won.
Did he get? Okay.
Yep. There you go.
Whoa.
Watch out.
Okay.
Watch out.
Do I just beat him up?
How could I lose to the likes of you again?
What?
He's Sonic.
There we are. Chili dogs. We got him. We got him.
Look at this cool kick he did. That cool kick. S rank.
We got our chili dogs. All right, fellas. That's. I think that's all we can take of Sonic Forces. We have made Kyle the Hedgehog the Bird into the man-child bird hedgehog he's always needed to be. And if this isn't a reflection of how I feel on the inside, boy, I don't know what is. You know, Nintendo's really come a long way with their games. Like Link was able to have different costumes. Mario was able to have different costumes. You can just make your own Sonic OC with different
Imagine if you
costumes.
booted up Mario Odyssey and was like, hey, make your own brother.
Get on it, Nintendo. See you next time on Goof Game Corner. All right, fellas. That's the end of episode 5 of Goofing Off.
You know, Kyle, I've been meaning to ask you, how are you holding up after a live stream?
Necromancy is a powerful thing, Cameron. Also, I can't move my neck too drastically.
Okay. And with that, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to YouTube for extra content. I'm Cameron Vlenton.
And I'm Kyle Glockner. Thank you for taking the time to goof off with us.
What's up, guys?
I think I left goof in my other pants. It doesn't make a bit of difference anyway.
What?
Mainstream Mike is gone. The check is inert.
Lol,
Yowie! I have to not care anymore. I'm ready.
So hard. Now, what's an adorable, small, slow animal?
Drew.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.